Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. This is your host, Chris and Deepom here, and we're back with Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Season 5, Episode 15, Rise and Shine. Coulson uncovers General Hale's real agenda, and it could be the end of the world if S.H.I.E.L.D. can't stop her. I hate these. Okay, whatever. We don't care about synopsis anyway. Yeah, I mean, they took us Captain Crunch away. I'm really upset for Coulson myself. It's like...
Coulson needs to stop being the coolest person on television.
I mean, look, you can take a man's cot, take a man's chair, set him in isolation, that's fine. But you start taking away his Captain Crunch, and I just got to say, that's a line that you just do not fucking cross.
I've called the UN. They'll be dealing with you shortly.
Right. There's fucking war crimes.
And I said I'd address this in this episode. So we just covered Arrow, excuse me, and then a great fight between Diggle and Oliver there that was emotional and well acted, and I feel bad because I always watch Arrow first, and I watch this show. And I get to watch some of the debates that happen here, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. just does it better. I don't want to tell you, like they elevate the form, the sci-fi serial to a place that I didn't know it could go. When Max says, "Do you think that you're alive in the future because I was there to protect you?" There's no retort. There's no retort. And then, yeah, we'll talk about the episode in a second. Let's get into it. I mean, I'm sorry.
No. Start with that, because I think that's a good place to start with. Just Jemma and Elena thinking that they're invincible and that they can do whatever they can.
Which is somewhat defeatist, because if you think you're invincible, then you're convinced you can't change it.
Exactly. It means you can't change the future.
If you want to change it, kill yourself.
Right.
Because we've established that these are three constants that they all know are established in the future. I said it last week, somebody's got to die.
Yeah, somebody has to. I mean, it has to work that way in order to break the cycle, because, like I said, they have... I mean, and look, here's the thing. Again, going with what we said last when we did the review for Arrow, I get the emotional arguments here. And everything to me around it is built better here. I get the emotional argument here. Like, they're facing with, hopelessness. And so if you can establish that you can't die, or you think you can't die, and that anything you can that gives you a leg up, you're not really thinking everything through at that point. And shit.
Yeah.
And it leads to making, what's going to happen is they don't understand is that you thinking that might be what leads to the actual fucking problem, because you're in the time loop. And so you acting this way and you going off there and taking, locking Mac up and going off on your own might cause the problem. Because now you're operating, because now what happens is now they're operating outside of the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're operating outside of Coulson, operating outside of Johnson. So what happens when they come across something and they end up getting in the way or fucking up something that is already, that the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. has already figured out. And so, and I get it, the emotional idea of not wanting to leave. But yeah, it's just not good. Not good, goes. Not good at all.
And it's also interesting because at one point, Yo-Yo says to Mac, he says to her, "I don't want to know anything about the future."
Mm-hmm.
Which is scary, man. Like, if you had definitive knowledge of what a future of yours would hold, like, they're taking this a very liberating sense, and I don't know, man. That's weird to me.
I think it's...
And the fact that we don't know Fitz's or Deke's grandfather's name worries
me. Just saying. Like,
all we have to go on is that he was brave and fearless, and that he loved the same sandwich as Fitz. Maybe Jimmy just makes a mean version of that sandwich.
Just saying. Like, we know that genetically they're linked, but like I said, it doesn't mean. And I think this is the problem. And this is something that we noticed when you have Robin here, and we'll get into that later on too. But like, none of these people have a complete picture of what the future is. They're saying that they know the future, but they don't. They know pieces of the future, and they know secondhand knowledge. Like you said, and I brought this up before. It's like they're saying that Simmons is operating the idea that, oh well, Deega's our grandson, and he knew his grandfather, and he knew his grandfather's sandwiches. Here's the other thing too. It's like, does he? I don't know if Deke ever met his grandfather. I think he knows from his mother, which again kind of doesn't really solve all the problems here. It doesn't explain everything. It really doesn't. The other thing, no, that couldn't be it. Like I said, they're operating with this reckless abandonment of something that, and again, totally get it from their point of view, but they're not seeing they're all compromised. Simmons is compromised. Fitz is, I think, oddly enough, Darth Fitz is actually the most reasonable out of the three of them right now. And
so can he get a warning? Can you warn him, man?
Right. And then when he sees that it actually wasn't all water and that she actually did pour like the acid, he was like, they're reckless. And Elena's the same way.
So Susan's been missing a lot of this show, so she sat down and watched this once morning with me. Mm-hmm. And she goes, wait, I thought they were the smart ones. I go, they are. There's no way it's 4 glasses of water. It's just tricking them. I go, not that smart. And then they showed it. I go, well, they're not that smart.
She's bought into it.
Your entire purpose is to change the timeline. Why the fuck would you think any of this is cemented?
They're not thinking about it. This is about, because you got to think about now, Simmons is now thinking about their future, their child, and her life with Fitz. They're compromised. It's the same thing with Elena. She's thinking about her future with Mac. None of them are actually thinking about the larger end goal, which is to change the timeline for the greater good and not have the world destroyed. They're all compromised. They're thinking very singular, and the show has done a great job of explaining that to us. And I think that's the thing that was missing from when we just said we did Arrow, because both of these shows are dealing with, splits between people that are close. Like, I totally get the arguments that Simmons and Elena were making. They're wrong, but I get them, and I feel that emotional weight because we've watched them. We've watched, we now know, especially, they've been setting it up that Elena has this whole, invincible complex about her, that she can do whatever she wants and not get hurt. And Mac has seen that and been like, no, that's not how this should work.
You learned the wrong lesson.
Yeah, you're learning the wrong lesson. Even Fitch, when you think about it, even Fitch was on some, what are you doing? Like, they didn't tell him, and Fitch is like, yeah, no, you can't do that, Jemma. That's not what we need to do. Jemma and Elena are gone. They are completely. They're operating now on complete emotions and not thinking about the bigger picture. So they can be, like, we all know smart people who do dumb things, and that's what this was right here.
Yes.
They are operating with things they do not understand fully, and it is going to lead to heartbreak, folks. I just want everybody to know this is not going to end well at all. This is a bad idea, and if anything, it's going to lead to the problems. Because again, how do you know that this isn't part of the...
Everything seems to be still on that same track.
Everything is. Yep.
There's an idea posited in Hickman's FF run, if you ever read it.
God damn, dude.
What?
Fuck. This could be the new Fringe, where you just throw shots at me every show.
It hasn't worked for that either, now. So it has.
I know. So maybe you shouldn't do it.
Well, maybe. Theories. Anyway, but it deals with the idea of catastrophe theory, that with a certain knowledge of the future, you can know about cascading events that individually would threaten the system, but happening in such rapid succession, they would cause entire failure of the system. So I think what we're going to see is that some of these things have to happen, but if they can buy themselves some time so they don't happen on top of each other, that could be the thing that saves off Armageddon. And God, now I'm thinking about that run again. Them going to get Robin off to a bad start.
Not a good start. No. Well, we knew that
Because
last week.
yeah, we knew it last week, but like the drawing and we got the typography, and of course that's exactly where the end of Coulson's story leads. And it just, I don't know, man. It just all feels like we've got problems coming.
Well, I mean, we see it here. Like she had stopped. Robin had stopped talking and stopped drawing because she had basically saw her own death. She drew her own death.
Right.
When she got old with her new mommy, May. And she starts talking and drawing again when she sees May. And then you get the whole thing of Robin's mom telling May, if anything happens to me. So you get
Yes,
the, like,
really have a connection.
right. You know, the truth of the matter is, I almost felt that's the feeling we got when Robin was walking towards the cockpit and saw May. I was like, oh, that we actually saw that scene before. It was different, though. It was not the same time. That's when they were actually, the end of the world was happening. So I was like, oh my God, she's going to call May mom. And she did. And I was like, fuck, we are still, like you said, we're still on the same path. Like everything right now, I'm very, very intrigued at how they're going to course correct and get off out of this loop and break this loop, because so far it's full steam ahead. We are
we're on, the apocalypse is on schedule.
We are on schedule. That train is not running late. It's hitting all the stops it needs to hit. Yeah, it is. Yeah, she called, when Robin calls May mommy, I was just like, oh, that's not good. That's not a good sign. And nah. And then she even says, like, hey, listen, Coulson dies. So
Yo, they did a pretty good tease of that this week.
yeah. Which well, I loved love when Talbot said, you die more than anyone I've ever met.
It's a great line. It's 100% true.
Which is, it's not a lot.
He dies so fucking much.
You die a lot, though, Coulson. You really do die a lot. You need to. So, no, but I love that aspect of it, and it's not just. And let's be being fair to Elena and Jemma here. Daisy and them are doing the same thing. They're still May's like, maybe we shouldn't get Robin. Maybe we shouldn't do this. And Daisy's full steam ahead. Like, everybody right now, with the exception of maybe Coulson, is operating on fear. Mm-hmm. Everyone is, and I think that Coulson will end up being the key to breaking the cycle, because I think even Robin says he sees he'll see the pieces. Because, and like I said, if that means Coulson needs to die, Coulson will make that sacrifice, because he's Phil Coulson, and that's what he does, and he sees the bigger picture. But everyone else has kind of forgotten that in order to break out of the time loop, you kind of got to do things differently. And right now, all they're doing is operating on plans and going to get Robin and bringing her in and keeping her with you. You guys know that, and actually, to tell you the truth, I think the other problem is nobody's ever sat down and everybody put all their cards on the table.
Yeah, no one said, here's what we know. Let's make a timeline of things that we know are going to happen, and how can we stop them?
Because I'm sitting
I think that's what's going to be the final, like when Coulson gets back, like, this is fucking ridiculous. Everyone in the room, there's a whiteboard. Everyone gets to do a card marker, draw what you fucking know.
Because that, when I was thinking about it, I was like, you know what? It just hit me. Because I'm saying, like, you know, Daisy bringing Robin into with everybody else means that she's not going to go back, because that's, again, what was she went down with them when the Zephyr went down. Robin's with them, and she's always been with them. Like, this is not helping. And then it hit me. It was like, well, Daisy might not know that, because, you know, that was May.
Oh, that was shown to us.
That was shown to us. So,
well, we also don't know
if May.
I think Robin's mom is about to die.
Oh no, she definitely is. Oh, she definitely is. All right, she has to die soon.
As evidenced by the fact that we keep calling her Robin's mom and not the character's name, which we don't know.
Did she have a name?
She did.
She did. I'm just saying. Yeah, she's Robin's mom. Because here's the thing. You want to know why I'm calling her Robin's mom? I'm sorry. Robin's first mommy. Because her mom's name is May. Mm-hmm. May's the one who's going to end up finding. We're going to find out is the one who raised her the longest. So again, like I said, I'm with you. I think the problem is nobody's ever sat down and whiteboarded out what's going on. So everybody knows little bits and pieces here and there. So like not everybody knows that Deke is the grandson of Fitz and Simmons. Like now Elena knows, but that's about it. Like nobody else really knows all these different pieces. Elena's told Mac some stuff about what she saw and what she heard, but not everything. Like she hasn't told everybody that we have that when Elena says we have to let Coulson die, she knew that Coulson was dying before anybody else, but nobody else knew.
No one had that conversation.
Nobody had that conversation. So it's like
in her defense, they came after the future. She got her arms cut off. So
no, I look and again, to me, it's not for a lack of thought or planning.
Busy.
They've been fucking busy. Like you said, they've been dealing with the fear dimension. Like they got Darth Fitz back cutting open fucking Daisy, and then Coulson goes with Hale. It's like they have all these things for things on, and I think it goes to what you were saying about the apocalypse. All these things happen on top of each other. They haven't had that chance to really figure out what they can do. Like even when they first got back, it was a mess. So it's like they just haven't had that chance to have that conversation to really think about it. They've been putting out small things here and there, small fires here and there, but nothing big. So I think that's going to be the thing that happens when they really figure it out and go from there. So let's talk about Creel and Gravitonium, which then you also get the little they brought Ruth back for that little not end credit, but like the end of the episode where you see that Gravitonium is not just an element. It's got Hall in it.
Well, this is something that's super fucking interesting because throughout the episode after Creel made connection, we saw a bunch of clips of Hall. And he kept saying he's arguing with someone. And so that wasn't ruined for me, but we remember that the person he was most at odds with was Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of suspected that Quinn got in there eventually. I didn't think they would reveal it in this hour, but she doesn't have any fucks given for my timelines. And just things that rapid pace, because why tell in 2 hours what you can tell in one, I guess, is their kind of my storytelling, which leaves me like exhausted and sweating after every fucking Shield episode. Yeah. And good to see Flowers back.
Yes.
And yeah, of course they're going to be arguing inside of it. And that's the other creepy thing, is that now we know the Gravitonium is sentient.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the other thing too. And it could be just from things from that first season that now I got to go back and watch the first season.
Right. I'm really like, I got to watch these fucking episodes.
Right. Because he, there's a couple times he said he's talking about seeing the future, and now of course that could just be the conversation scientists have all the time. Well, I see the future. I know what the future is. But now that we can actually know that we have the agents go to the future and see what the future actually is, it now becomes kind of becomes interesting, right? It becomes something that you're like, now was he meaning literally he could see the future? Because we do know how Gravitonium is used in the future, and with everything going on right now, they are on fast track to break the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested in seeing that, and also want to know what the long term effects on Creel going to be, because he's still suffering from effects from it. He's still hearing.
So, Creel's fucked up.
Yeah.
They keep fucking up Creel too. Like, part of me is like, they started listing off like his masters. I was like, yo, why don't y'all just let this man the fuck alone? Mm-hmm. Like, everybody keeps messing with him.
Yeah. But I do like the idea that Creel wasn't like 100% total bad guy. When he was like, when Coulson was like, yeah, you do know they have Talbot here, right? Not that he was your friend. He was like, what do you mean they have him here? Well, they said we're helping him.
Well, even before that, you look at his history. He's always been like compliance and like all that shit. Like he's been used since he showed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like, yo, he's not really Hydra. He knows what Hydra did to them. Like he's trying to do the right thing. He's not trying to be a bad guy. 100%. So no, you're absolutely right on that one. Talbot is fucking hilarious though. This is my inside voice.
And he should use a more inside voice.
Oh man. And Ruby is gonna be such a fucking problem.
Going to be?
Okay. Ruby is such a fucking problem.
Okay, what show are you watching? Because
I mean, I should have been more of a problem than she already is. Fuck, man. Just one, you know, Hale doesn't understand that Ruby's a lot smarter than she thinks she is, than Hale thinks she is, and she's gonna notice that you don't want her to go through the device, that you don't want her to be the destroyer world, and Ruby is a little too happy to be the destroyer world. Like
she leaned into that name real hard.
That's the thing. Like when you have some, you don't really. That's like a nickname you don't want to have. But again, here's a crazy thing, right? Isn't that the interesting contrast with her and Daisy, which we should be getting Daisy versus Ruby next week, which Ruby's not going to come out on that one on top. But when that was the name for Daisy, Daisy didn't like that shit, right? She didn't want anybody. Don't call me that. I don't want that. I don't, because she knows what that one. She's what that could do, but also just the person that Daisy is. Ruby, on the other hand, she wants to be the destroyer world. She wants that quote unquote honor to being that. And that's not somebody you want. That's like, it's watching a lot of Criminal Minds yesterday, and it was like they were doing something about some serial killer in Alaska who was a hunter killing a bunch of people, and they're going around the like schools asking, because it's Alaska, everybody hunts. So they were like, oh, everybody hunts here. It was like, yeah, but is there anybody like hunts, like they're like a little too enthusiastic about it, just like they really like maiming and killing the animals, and that's the part that they take joy out of. Then one guy was like, wait, you're not supposed to enjoy it? It's like, yeah, no, some people don't really enjoy the actual killing of the animal. Like, they enjoy hunting, but like I'm talking about like cum their pants enjoying. Like, that's what Ruby was kind of doing here, being called the story of the world. It's like, I almost gave her an orgasm. I was like, you know what? You need to slow down, young lady. I need you not to be all excited about being called the destroyer of worlds, the world you live on. Just not a good thing here, ma'am. And yeah, so that's not good. And poor old Strucker is gonna lose his fucking mind. Your dick is not your friend, dude. It's not your friend. This is not helping. You doing all this stuff for Ruby, she will kill you.
Look, I'm not saying he's right. Get it. Get it.
No.
He likes crazy. Yo, he likes crazy. If he likes crazy, he's staring at Michael Jordan in the draft. Like, I can draft that.
No, but I'm just saying.
That's
but
legendary crazy.
Okay. And D Palm is giving you the advice your college buddies give you, because your
I'm
college
not
buddies.
Get any advice. I'm telling you what's going through this crazy boy's mind.
Yo, that's what the college
crazy boy sees. Other crazy thinks it's the same crazy. Doesn't recognize that it's next level crazy. He's going to get out crazy. He doesn't see that side of it. He just sees someone similar to his wavelength. He doesn't see how much more intense her wavelength is in this crazy.
You never sleep with crazy, whether that's your man or woman. You never do that, because it never ends well.
So we've now left from me talking about Strucker's state of mind to Chris lying to the audience.
Well, no. I'm not saying that we have never done it. I'm speaking.
You said never. You said never. I'm telling y'all, never is not the answer.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm trying to give this young man advice. Speaking from experience, that
you're giving him bad advice.
I'm trying to.
That's my stance. Is that you're giving him shitty advice?
I'm giving him better advice. I'm trying to save this young man's life.
No. Oh! I'm here for the story, baby. Look,
you got the popcorn.
This man in particular, with this level of crazy, could die. The general advice is do it for the story.
Go out on top.
Do it for the story. You probably won't die. Do it for the story.
go out with a smile.
That's my advice in general, not for this shit. That's general life advice.
Okay, hey, you know what? You only live once. Yellow with you.
I've got great stories. So say that. My life is ridiculous.
Oh my god. Oh man.
I lived in a house with a pig for a year.
Huh?
I lived in a house with a pig for a year.
Oh, yes, I remember this. And,
all right,
yes.
I've done some crazy shit for some crazy ass stories.
I know, and I'm just saying that maybe Strucker's been through enough. But then again, you have the last name of Strucker, so fuck it, right?
Right? Yo, your last name is Strucker.
Yeah, now to think about
it. Strike three, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, now to think about it, you know what? Have fun, dude. Matter of fact, No condom. Go full crazy. Go full crazy. Knock yourself out. But this is how you know she's crazy. She was told not to kill Creel. She still tries to do it. She doesn't do it. She still tries to do it. And Hale goes, "Oh, well, okay, now go and go be the destroyer of worlds." I'm like, no, Hale, you did not realize she did not follow your order there. Like, Hale is so far fucking gone. She did not follow your order. She tried to kill Creel anyway. She's done. She's no longer your puppet. She's going to. Oh, Hale, you beautiful bastard. Oh God, you're done. You don't see it. You don't see it. So, I love this fucking show, guys. I just do. Last thing here. I love that. I can't believe we forgot this early on. I love that. Elena almost pulled a Marvin from Pulp Fiction and almost shot Jemma.
Look, I'm sorry. Like this. See, just start people being stupid. I can't die. Watch this. Fuck you.
You forgot that there's a man in the closet with a goddamn hand cannon? Like, I'm sorry. I had a Pulp Fiction flashback with that shit. Oh, my God. All right, so we did get an email. Fantasia says, Jim is an idiot. Just because Deke said his mother never talked about injuries doesn't mean they didn't happen. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. I thought, I was like, there's different ways of surviving this. It doesn't necessarily mean you didn't.
Hey, here you go. How many of your grandparents' physical ailments do you know about in detail and how they occurred? Go.
Right.
Stupid ass question.
The Invisible Three will get themselves gravely injured or killed, and right, I'm okay with the first one. Why hasn't Elena told anyone about what she heard all she keeps saying is I can't die, but maybe she does it in this loop. Yeah, that's the only thing we brought up too, is the fact that like nobody's had a conversation yet about everything they know. So everybody knows bits and pieces here and there. And I think honestly it comes down to the fact that you got to remember she had her arms cut off, so almost like immediately afterwards. Mac may forgive them, but then again, playing with his emotion and faking her death, he might not. I wouldn't blame him. I mean, yeah, he almost got shot, so Mac's a big pushover. So some people are saying the team is split. Daisy and May choose Coulson, Fitzsimmons and Yo-Yo choose the world. But the thing is, Robin said in the future in this episode that Coulson's the key, that he can put all the pieces together. So we need Coulson right now. Speaking of Robin, girl calling someone else mom in front of your mother. Why? I love how she would talk or draw until she saw May. She wouldn't draw or talk until she saw May. Then she was talking and drawing like nothing happened. Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it too. The way that, and I think that because this show does so much stuff, I think we sometimes forget things, and they do things without really putting super emphasis on there. So we got to go back to the way that Robin's powers work. Robin's powers work in the fact that and the reason why she just seems so different is she's basically living in both time periods. She experiences all the stuff. You got to remember how her father could see the future and things like that. Like, it was very taxing. So what happens with Robin is she's getting all this stuff and she draws them, but she's basically experiencing all these timelines at once. So it does confuse her at times. So you got to think about it. She just recently saw her own death. And the person there was May, the person that she associates with being her mother. Because honestly, if she grows old like that, and we don't know how long May stays around, but I'm going with the fact that
he's there when May dies and May's there when she dies, which is this most fucked up, like, emotional dependent loop I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Right, and I would assume that means that May was. If we go with this idea that she's experiencing all this stuff, and she's seeing all this stuff, May has been her mother longer than her own mother has been.
Right,
and so I think that's where that's coming from, and why she says that is, and I think that's why if you think about it, her mother understood that and didn't get all frustrated about it because she's like, I see what's going to happen here. Okay, you need to make sure you take care of my daughter.
Our daughter, really?
Right. Yeah. Creel, sir, you need help. Ruby also needs help. She is way too happy about this. Their fight was amazing. Coulson's escape was great using the alien machine, and Talbot is just amazing. I forgot about that. Yeah, so that means you can use that device to kind of teleport across. We have a teleporter now on Earth. Awesome.
We do.
Great. Daisy is a hard ass, and I take anyone's shit, and I live for it. Team Daisy every day. Yogi's reaction to Deke being their grandson was amazing. Their reasons, their responses were great. Fitz is still not happy, which I wouldn't be either. And so we know where Quinn is, and it was great to see Raina again. Can't wait for next week. I don't want to be you. Okay, yeah, this from we're not gonna say that because that's from the preview for next week. But yeah, thank you for the email, and yeah. Again, this is only episode 15. We're getting there, and I still don't know how we get out of this, and it's gonna be great. Yeah, that's great. And look, we even got news this week. There's potential that we're getting to season 6, which, look, I say this every week. I'm okay either way. The show is amazing, and so I will not turn down getting more awesomeness every week. And I think we said this last week that I don't know what else you put into on a Friday to get you the numbers that this gives you, even on the DVR numbers. So keep it around, folks. What else you got? I mean, what else are you going to put on Friday? It's going to be as good. So I'm hoping for that.
Bring back
we'll
Urkel.
You said what now?
Bring back Urkel.
Bring back Urkel. I mean, why not? We got Roseanne, right?
Oof.
Might as well bring back Family Matters. I mean,
one of them was entertaining. The other one was Roseanne.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is great. I love the show, and I love the fact that I don't know where we're gonna go from here. Like, the whole thing with Gravitonium now is super interesting and opens up a lot of possibilities. I still think we're on the. Does this? Yeah, I'm really interested to see where this goes, because I don't know where it goes. I don't know what happens, and
So in the comics, Graviton's just Franklin Hall, but if you make him a gestalt of these two competing ideologies who are constantly bipolarly reacting to things and arguing about everything, that gives him a weakness that lets the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. deal with him in a way that you would normally need a Thor or really just kind of a Thor to deal with.
Right. So we'll see. This is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to this, and I can't fucking wait. So, all right, folks, there you guys have it. That is a review for Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week. Again, remember, you can get Stitcher Premium. Go to Stitcher.com/premium and put the code in review Tuesday, and you'll get a free month of Stitcher Premium. You can also find this show everywhere you get your favorite podcast. Just search for Super Tuesday Recap. And we'll be back this week. Flash is back. And towards the end of the month, we'll have 2 character corners coming as well. They're a third part of Batman, and then what is the next one? Oh, Thanos. So those are both coming in towards the end of the month for character corners. So just stay tuned, and until next time, we're out of here. Peace.